What's up everybody, Derek here, and today I was going to go over 5 of the best baits that I like to use down on the river. And when I think of bass that are down on the river, I think of hardy bass. And what I mean by that is I think of bass that have been through it all. You've got floods, you've got current, you've got, low water times. You've got so much that those bass have to acclimate to and get used to. And when you catch a bass on the river, most of the time, compared to the lake or anywhere else, you're up for a fight because those bass are basically in shape. So whenever I go down to a river and I start fishing, unless it's super muddy water, I'm gonna be with a weightless Cinco. It is so hard not to go with this starting off, to at least start finding where the bass are at. If I'm beating the bank especially, I am gonna be tossing this thing, and it's almost a finesse power technique for me, because if those bass are where I think they're going to be located, I'll throw right up towards them or where I think they're actually at, and I'll just let it slowly fall. It's a do-nothing bait. You don't really do nothing with this bait at all except let it fall, let the ends just kind of do their thing, and they'll flap and produce all kinds of little bit of twinging and vibration. But then pull it up, you can either yank it up and it'll pull up and it'll kind of float down, or you can give it little twitches. And those are the 2 main ways that I fish one of these. But for some reason, I don't know what it is about these things, but when a fish gets sight of one of these, it's crazy seeing the fish and then them just coming up and attacking one of these. Or you lose sight of it, and then all of a sudden your rod just loads up. So definitely give this a try starting off at the river. That's what I always do. All right, number 2 is one that is so hard not to use for me. I almost always have a trailer on one of these, whether it's a little paddle tail swim bait or, whatever, because I like to make the profile a little bit bigger. And since I'm on the river, a lot of fish will come and load up on these. But the amount of vibration that these chatterbaits make in pulling them by structure through grass and clear water, I mean, there's so many scenarios where you can throw one of these chatterbaits out and they will catch you larger fish. I don't know what it is about these things, but the vibration and everything else and the bite from these is just awesome whenever you do hook up on one of these. So definitely give a chatterbait a shot. My third one is one that can be fished shallow or deep or just anywhere in between. And that is with a fluke or any kind of minnow type bait. You could actually cut this short and it would be more like a smaller minnow. But this on a drop shot is so hard for fish to resist. Whether they're on beds, you can catch them with a drop shot up in 1 foot to 2 foot of water, all the way out to, as deep as it gets on ledges. These will catch you some fish. If you're just looking to kind of slow down a little bit, finesse a little bit, maybe the fish aren't biting like you want them to, or you're not catching anything, and you know where there is some current or some edges of current where there's an eddy or anything and those fish aren't up shallow, toss one of these out there and just throw it out there and give it little twitches. Just little twitches of the rod tip, or just let it fall like you would a Cinco, and then pick up again until you feel that weight. Because a lot of times I'll have this about 1 foot to 2 foot with a weight down below it, and that's basically how I do it. And I'll use my actual Cinco style hook right here, which is basically just a regular little circle hook almost, but I will just rig that thing up just like that right in there and just leave it. You can use it with these, and you can make it weedless as well. So many scenarios for working a drop shot whenever you're using one of these flukes. All right. And another one, if you're trying on a river, one of the things about a river is there's usually a lot of crawfish. Whether you got muddy banks, rocks, just wherever they're at. I don't know what it is, but there's always crawfish in rivers. Football jig or a structure jig. Either one of these, 3/8 ounce, put a trailer on there to mimic the claws from a crawfish or anything like that, and you cannot go wrong with a 3/8 ounce. I like the structure jig a lot of times, but sometimes the football head just works a little bit better. So you just kind of got to bounce back and forth trying what you think might work, and just stay natural colors. You don't have to go too crazy. This one has a little bit of red in it, and this one, you could use this color just about year round and do just fine. So definitely give just a regular jig a try, and you'll probably hook into some big ones, because these are known for catching bigger fish. And my last one, which has been one of my all-time favorites. This is one of the first lures that I really started getting into bass fishing with, and that was a spinnerbait down on the river. I used to drill holes and try to modify these things, trying to figure little ways, little subtle ways to catch more fish. But straight out of the box, 3/8 ounce, I think this is a booyah. You can't go wrong with one of these. Whether you're tossing it up by the bank, pulling it by roots, pulling it by trees, edges of grass. I mean, there's so many scenarios. And if you will kill it, you'll be doing a regular steady retrieve and just kill it and then keep going. You can catch fish doing it that way. They'll actually react a lot of the times when you switch up the cadence retrieve with one of these. And you can also fish these deep on ledges and other stuff. If you throw them out, let them settle to the bottom, reel back real slow, let it hit the bottom, let it hit everything down there, and switch up the cadence like I was just talking about as well. You will catch bass deeper and even in the cold months. So definitely give one of these a try, and give all of these lures a try, because I've had so much luck with all of these lures over the years down on the river catching good fish. Just the river is one of my favorite places to honestly go fishing, because there is so much life in a river. The fish are always so active, and the one thing that I always follow is, if you're not catching them somewhere else, go find that current, because a lot of the times the common denominator is that current. And in a river, there's always current. So those fish are always lively, and there's always that oxygen getting through the water. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you guys. And thanks for watching, you guys. And subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video if you liked it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.